Still not over our wine.
Yeah.
I didn't even open it. Would you bring some scotch for us?
Yeah. Tell you what, you're liking that.
All right, we're live. We are live, gentlemen. Here, let me get to a place where we can.
We're off sequence.
Yeah, I don't want that to be the case. There we go. All right. Hi, everybody. It's Monday again. Can you believe
How
it?
about that?
Yet another Monday. We're live here in a new place. We are clearly not in the cellar at Ken Hardcastle.
I'm here.
Ken's here.
But the cellar
Chuck's
isn't
here.
The cellar is
2 stories
2
down.
stories below us.
We are in our new space.
It's obviously still under a little bit of
It's
construction.
clearly still under construction, but we are making progress. That's all the good news. So hopefully we're going to be able to have this. What do you think? Another
6 months.
I say a month or two. We're going to go for a month or two.
Yeah.
So let's keep our fingers crossed. If you come into the winery and you see one of us around or one of our team, feel free to ask for a tour. We're happy to bring you on up and show you what the progress is. Things have changed a lot in the last month, and it's looking really great up
How
here.
come we're not in the cellar?
We're not
right
in the
now?
cellar. Oh, that's a good question.
Why aren't we in the
Why
cellar?
aren't we in the
I
cellar?
love being in the cellar.
Well, if somebody had watched your earlier Facebook post,
They might know.
they might actually
might
know.
know.
There's more
That's a
cases.
good quiz. Who out there knows
Yeah.
why we're not in the cellar right
I myself looked at it and said, holy guacamole.
Holy
And then I said,
guacamole.
holy guacamole when I just walked in down there. Well, walkie was really, crawling was might be a better
now?
word
Yeah,
for it.
it's a little tight down there.
It is
No
a
room
lot.
for a Facebook Live event. No room even to stand in the barrel room where we typically have our events.
Holy guacamole.
All
right.
And it sounds good.
That's good. So we got Matt on there, and
Excellent. Hey, Matt.
Chuck's joined us. That's
Yeah.
excellent.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
Matt's here.
Matt's paying attention. He
Yeah,
got
he is.
canning.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. We
Yeah.
are just about out of our Dolgo and our cranberry cider. Those were our first 2 canned products. We canned those in June of this year.
Yep.
2020. And we're nearly out of all of it. And we don't want to run out of things that are popular. So we brought Ironheart back again today to do it all over again. So we're putting up about 600 cases of canned products.
600 cases. What is that? 5 pallets?
6 pallets.
Six
Yeah.
pallets.
A pallet holds 100 cases, 10 layers, 10 cases, 2,400 cans per pallet.
2,400
Wow.
cans. So if you want to know more about canning, I made a live video earlier today around 1 o'clock, and that's on our Facebook page. So you can scroll back on the Facebook page an hour or two, and you can watch a description and some video of the actual canning. It's quite an interesting process. We've also posted other videos in the past. If you want to look for some more detailed videos, you can check us out there. So
Yeah, this is our second canning in 1 month.
Yeah.
second
really.
canning in a month and third canning this year.
Right.
This year.
It's really,
It's
that's
really exciting.
fascinating. It's so great. It's as we've talked about before, it's the same cider or wine that we've had available in bottles for years now. And we enjoy drinking those wines and that hard cider. But you put it in a can and it's a different liquid. It's a different event. It even tastes a little different somehow. It's just a different experience.
Exactly.
Um,
Actually, Judy has just joined us, and Judy did not know we were canning.
oh, great.
So, Judy, we have 4 products in cans now. We have our Dolgo, which is our sparkling crab apple. We have our sparkling rosé now in can. We have our Petite Blue, which is our only still wine in a can. And then, of course, what's going on right now is the Hermit hard cranberry apple cider, which is the 4th product. So we actually sell sample packs. So you can come in if you want to try each of our canned products. You can buy a 4-pack with one of each of the different types that we're putting into a can. So thanks for asking, Judy.
I have found that 3 of the products, the carbonated products that are consumed right out of the fridge, nice and cool, are fine out of the can or out of the glass. Either way, they both work really well. But like we talked about before,
Yeah.
and you were first to pick up on it, Chuck, the Petite Blue does better in a glass.
Yeah.
The can is certainly convenient and it tastes good out of the can, but it's a much more enjoyable process if you take that can and pour it into a glass.
You know, I think I agree with you. We talked about that later, but I was actually excited about the possibility of this summer on a really hot day.
Well, I can't wait to
cracking
try
a
it that way.
chilled,
Yeah.
you know, nice and cold,
Yeah.
petite blue out of the fridge and just drinking it cold and
Yeah.
refreshing out of the fridge. So who knows? That might
Liana
work out nice.
had a can last night and we were talking about today, and she goes, you know, when I drink it out of the can, I taste the blueberry wine. But when I pour it into the glass, I smell blueberry, and then I taste something which is much more wine-like.
Huh.
It integrates and it becomes more of a dry red wine.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
So come on in. All of our cans are available in the shop, and some of them are available out in the world. You can see our cider cans at the liquor store and at the some shops around the Lakes region and further south as well.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I hope you can give it one of our cans a try. Holly Furlone has joined us. Hi,
Hey,
Holly.
Holly.
Nice to see you.
I sure can't wait till this pandemic is over and we can go hear Holly sing.
I
live,
know.
perform live.
The last
Yeah.
time I saw Holly was at one of my favorite places in
That was
Schilling.
That was in Schilling, yeah.
Yeah,
We were there. We were
that's
on
right.
our motorcycle. We drove through all 3 notches and we ended up at Schilling's.
Yeah.
And she happened to be playing there that night. I remember that was such
Yeah.
a great,
So
great,
when
place, great time.
we get back out there, folks, and if you haven't had a chance to see Holly play, she's outstanding. So
Yeah.
you go check her
She's
out.
been doing a lot of live performances, which has been great.
Good. What, through Zoom?
Yeah.
So you could Google Holly Furlone on Google and find her, and she's doing some live performances.
Yes.
So that's great. Our chef is here, Deborah. Hi, Deborah. Good
Hey,
to see
Deb.
you. Regine is here, and Priscilla.
Excellent.
And so it's nice you have a good group. Geraldine's watching. Hi, Geraldine.
Geraldine.
So we're up here on the 3rd floor, just for those who are just joining us, because our canning line is taking up every inch of space downstairs. It's very noisy. It's a really big process. So
Well, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna-
though? I mean, we're up here.
We're gonna
Do
drink.
we have wine?
we don't have any glasses in our hands yet. We can take care of that. We usually are drinking by now, right?
Yeah.
At least that's the
Whoa,
goal.
wait, what do we have?
Look at
here?
this.
Oh, nice. It's empty, Ken.
Huh. If you haven't seen our new glasses, I tell you what, here they are. What?
This is in a screw cap.
In a screw cap? Are you kidding?
The 2019 vintage of our Honeyberry wine.
So
And-
how many of you out there have had our Honeyberry wine? If you have, comment, let us know. Tell us what you think about it. This we introduced, how many, 4 years ago was the first introduction of this?
2015.
2015,
So 5
so
years.
5 years ago. And it's actually, it's really developed nice. It's become one of our very popular wines. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers, everyone. Happy holidays.
Cheers. Hey, what do you say? I hope all of you out there had a really fabulous holiday. I know our holidays were a little different this year,
Yeah.
and maybe you didn't do things like you did in the past. But for the people that you did get to spend time with, and the holiday cheer you get to have, I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful holiday.
I love the aroma of this wine.
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't
great.
had this in a while,
I
but
mean,
it's
even
just so
for my
good.
mask, it's like just for all.
So what vintage is this?
X1X.
X1X,
Yeah, 2019.
2019.
So honeyberry is a really unique fruit. It's a fruit from a type of honeysuckle plant, which is cold hardy. It grows, zone 1. It can withstand really cold winters. I think originated in Siberia. And Ben at Great Northern Berries, just over here up the road,
Also known as Wayside Farm
Wayside Farms. Thank you.
in Sandwich, North Sandwich.
Yep, Wayside Farms. He grows this fruit. He's been selling the plants and also growing them to produce fruit for various people to use it. Sap House Meadery uses some of the honeyberries, and we've been
Aren't we always competing with Step House to see if we can get more berries?
always, yeah. Watch out, Ash. No, it works out really well. And he has planted more from our interest and Sap House Meadery's interest and other people that use this fruit. It's a fascinating fruit, a bit between a blueberry and a blackberry. Very tangy, very lively. And he picks them at peak ripeness, sorts, cleans out any stems and leaves and underripe fruit, and then freezes them. And when they arrive here, they're frozen. And Bob will come by when we have this frozen fruit and just grab handfuls of it because it's like a candy.
Oh,
It's this sweet and sour candy, right, type of fruit, which is really amazing. And so this is a wine that we've been working on for 5 years now. And always there's a single vintage and product that we create called our Honeyberry wine. But today, what I want to share with you are the 20 vintages. Wayside Farms had a great crop this year. We ended up getting more berries than we had even asked for. And so I've experimented and created 3 new types of Honeyberry wine.
Wow.
And we're going to taste those and talk about those. So, because I think we've got some progress being made on how to make this an even better wine.
Okay, so I'm going to say hello to a couple more folks. And
Great.
then I want to hear from you about what you taste now in the 2019. Let's describe what that is. But I want to say hi to Bridget. She just showed up, and Judy, and let's see, we have Virginia's here, and Janice. We have a nice crew today. It's great to see everybody out there. I'm glad you found the time to join us on this Monday afternoon.
The tannins are really developing nicely in this now.
Karen Davis just showed up. Hi, Karen. So the tannins.
Hi, everyone.
So we're talking about Honeyberry wine. This is our 2019, and Ken and Chuck are going to tell us what they think of this vintage, which I got to say is your best one yet.
Thank you. I think so too.
Yeah.
I really, I've been trying to balance the intensity. The fruit is very intense. And early on, it was a little too intense. It was a big wine. It was a strong wine. It was really.
And for me, it was a little sweet.
I think a little sweeter.
Yeah.
I needed to add a little bit more back sweetening to balance the bright acidity that was there. So it was too thick. It was too much going on. So what I've been working at is to achieve better balance in the wine itself, and then that's resulted in having to back sweeten it a little less. So it becomes a drier, more wine-like wine than it has in the past.
And you've achieved that. It really is that.
It drinks more like it's still got that really bright, unique aroma.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, you're not going to, if you were to try this for the first time, you're not going to compare this to a classic red.
No, not at all.
This is a wine in and of its own. It's in its own category. It's unique and quite special. And I don't know that you can get a Honeyberry wine anywhere else that I've seen. I know Ash makes a mead out of it.
Yep. And I have at EWE there was someone who uses this. It's also, I believe, known as a Hardcastle berry. And they grow it in the Minnesota and Wisconsin and Dakotas and cold environment, and they make wine out of it as well. But they make a sweeter wine. So they craft something which is almost like a dessert wine. And there the sugar's needed to balance that bright acidity. But I'm trying to work with this to craft something that can drink a little drier. What's interesting is what I brought here this afternoon are 3 different batches of Honeyberry from 2020. So these were vinified in August or so, and they're still aging away in the tank. One of them is crafted very similar to what you have here in this glass, but there's no back sweetening to it. So you can see what it's like raw. And then another one, I did some experiments where I took this Honeyberry wine and I added a little bit of our Petit Blue Reserve. And it's magic. It's really unique. The blueberry cuts the back of the jaw tangy sharpness. Doesn't make your mouth salivate as much, and it makes it more wine-like, much more wine-like. So I did the math by blending those 2 wines together and decided to make a batch where I blended blueberries with the honeyberries and then fermented them together. So we're going to try that.
Great idea.
And then the third one that I have for us to try, honeyberries, when they're blended with water to break down some of that bright concentration, I need to add sugar to get 13, 14% alcohol like a regular wine. So in one of these batches here, I didn't use sugar, I used honey. So it's a honeyberry mead.
Honeyberry.
It's a honeyberry.
Honeyberry.
See that? I like that. I like
Well,
the
I have
sound
that
of
in,
that.
that's what it's cataloged in my thing. It's 20 HB honey. So it's a honeyberry honey.
So, yeah, that can be fun if you're out with your honeyberry, and you need some
Wow,
honeyberry.
Honey. Hey, honey, I brought home some honeyberry honey. Are you talking to me, honey?
I like it.
No, we have not been drinking before this. This was the first.
Well, maybe you have.
We're naturally happy.
Well, the most unique thing that we're going to have a lot of fun with this afternoon is to blend those three together. We've already done this once a month or two ago. And each one has some good positive aspects to it, but the combination is even better. Yeah. And so I do plan on blending that as final new honeyberry wine.
So, another question before we go there. Did you not try a honeyberry port style wine?
Oh, that's in the, oh no, that's already bottled.
Oh,
I just need to print labels and it's ready to go.
So
That was crafted like the deep blue, pure berries, no added water.
higher alcohol?
Higher
Like
alcohol.
a port?
Like a port. I had to add a ton of sugar as a back sweetening. I think it's 15% or something like that.
Oh, my goodness.
It's like syrup.
Wow.
But it's ice cream, it's incredible.
Mm.
It's really a sipper, an intense sipper, or something you could drizzle on top of ice cream.
I don't think we have a
or
label for
pound cake, not yet. But,
Wow, we got to get a label.
but I
for
wanted
that.
to put it in bottles just to get it so it ages faster and matures. in the
Yeah,
bottle.
yeah.
So I've been trying to do.
What
that
year was
for
that?
18. So it's been in a glass cardboard. It's like $400 worth of fruit for one 5-gallon.
For one $5 cardboard. Well, it's going to be good. So it'll be worth
No,
it.
yeah, I think it'll be good.
Well, good. I wanted to know about that. But so where are we going from here?
So this is the regular, our vintage that we have for sale now. We have a few cases left. This is our 2019 Honeyberry that we just had now. So what I want to do is we'll jump straight to the 2020 Honeyberry,
Without sugar.
made the same way as this, but without any back sweetening.
Okay.
Yeah, I like this a lot. It's really, I would say acidic. It has a great aroma that jumps out of the glass. But as Bob had mentioned, it's not like any other wine variety that I could, red wine that I could imagine, except that it's really fruity. It's a really nice fruity smelling aromatic.
Yeah.
And then the mouthfeel is this really lively thing. It just wakes up all your taste buds with that acidity, and then it has a long finish and a lot of experience through the whole wine, which would beg the question of, like I always ask, what would you like to eat this with that would really do well with those characteristics?
Yeah.
And, I'm not entirely sure. I think we have to do some experimenting.
That's what we need to do.
I think that this is a bit like a big bold white wine or a crabapple wine. I think because of all the acidity, it would go well with cheese or with various other
Spicy food, maybe
Spicy
Thai
food.
food, or
Maybe.
just like the crab apple.
We-
So
we
that's a
need- we
little
need to
sweet.
get some food.
We do, yeah, we missed out. Well, it's not the best setting for food here.
All right.
So I'm going to say hello to a couple more folks while you're pouring that. Barbara has joined us. Hi, Barbara. Thank you for joining us. And Sally, and let's see, we got Martine is here.
Oh, Martine,
Hi,
excellent.
Martine. Joseph Fagan and Gary. Excellent. We've got a great crew today. And Deborah's got some ideas. She's suggesting that we put poached pears with the mulled honeyberry wine.
Mulled.
Yeah, it sounds very
that's
interesting.
Because that sweetness would actually really do well with it. To bring the fruit out, like you had to sweeten the previous year's version of this to match the acidity. This could still handle the sugar and just really complement.
Well, and mull, you know, with a little spice in here, cinnamon and
right,
clove.
Great idea.
Yeah, like,
That's
so
a
I
very
think
good idea.
it's so strong, so bold. So this is the 2020 vintage of the Honeyberry wines, crafted the same way that was crafted, but it's still aging in the tank and has not been back sweetened like it typically is before we bottle it.
You can smell the acidity right off the bat.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's funny that the sweetening changes the aromatics, but it does clearly.
Part of it is the age also. That other one is a year older than this. And so wines really evolve as they age.
Wow. It does have that extra bite in the finish, but it's remarkably drinkable.
Yeah.
Even with it's the finish, the very end, with this very drying, almost tannic, mouth puckering grip.
There's too much.
Maybe slightly bitter.
Yeah, there's too much. There's a little bit of bitterness.
But this will come to the very end.
Yeah, it's at that end.
Yeah.
And that's what that back sweetening does. For those of you who don't know out there, a lot of wines are fermented dry. All the sugars are consumed and converted into alcohol, and then the wine is bottled that way. Typical of most dry red wines, dry white wines, there's no residual sugar. However, many wines have a little bit of bright acidity or bitterness, where a little touch of sugar can really help soften that taste and bring out other aspects of the wine. If you add a lot of sugar, you tend to dampen the aromatics. You build mouthfeel, so wines that are fairly thin or hollow can benefit from a little bit of back sweetening. But if you go too far, then it becomes very heavy and sticky and sweet, and is less amenable then to having with food, typical foods, maybe dessert. You'll find. So anyway, this is I think you can see the same sort of wine, but without that back sweetening.
Yeah, I felt like there was when I just first tasted this, a slight difference in there's a sort of a spice flavor that I didn't get in the previous year. I get
it in the air, but the aromatic is more complex.
Yeah,
than the other one. I think
there's a little something there. There's something going on.
Well, didn't you say, Ken, that there's more than one type of berry now that we're dealing with?
There always have been.
Okay.
Ben grows a variety of honeyberries, but one in particular that he's always had a small crop of is called the Aurora honeyberry. It's a certain variety of it. And when we taste that, it is less tangy and more like a grape in character. So I've been asking him to grow more of that I would want more of that. And he did that this last year and was able to produce quite a bit. And in the next sample that we'll have, it's primarily the Aurora honeyberry with blueberry added. And see what you think of that.
We have Sue Fosberg Stickneys joined us. Hi, Sue. Thanks for joining us. And Barbara Murray Chapman. Maybe I said hello to Barbara already. If I did, hello again. Matt suggested that this would go really good with a hearty beef stew. It may or may not, but I'm getting hungry just thinking about a hearty beef stew.
It might. I like Matt's idea, especially if there was some tomatoes in the stew, because I was thinking that this is a bit like a Sangiovese, where you have some of that bright acidity and some of the Italian reds, and it goes really well with a tangy tomato sauce or a stew. I think if it had a lot of tomatoes, that bright acidity.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I can sense like carrots and potatoes and really nice savory beef with that rich gravy.
And a beautiful bottle of 15-year-old Burgundy.
Honeyberry, right here, right out of the pot.
Honeyberry. Deborah suggested a rich fatty food. She suggested corned beef, possibly.
Oh, yeah.
Something fried.
Some spice too would be good.
Fried. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
We'll have to try it.
I like all these ideas. Deb, great ideas. Can you please provide all that food for us?
Yes, we're getting hungry. The next person who makes a suggestion has to bring us some food.
Deborah, maybe you're gonna have to start working on Mondays. You got to join us with some of this fine food suggestions.
That's right.
Mine.
All right, so
what are we gonna do now?
That's the same. You need to finish that.
I need to finish it.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
So this is a sample of Honeyberry wine made the same way as that, but it's primarily the Aurora Honeyberry. And there's about 23% wild blueberries added in with the Aurora Honeyberries. And then those are fermented together. And the small amount of blueberries, I think, doesn't take away from the honeyberry at all. You still get honeyberry aroma. You know it's a honeyberry wine.
It would take a lot to take away from the
But let's see what you think about the flavor and back end of this one. And again, this is raw too, no back sweetening to it.
You know, I'm struggling a little bit with the nose on these because as I'm sucking in that wonderful aroma, I'm getting plaster dust and some
It
of
is
the
really
other,
hard, yeah.
the building materials that exist.
Yeah, I felt like, and maybe it's a power suggestion, that I could get a little bit of the blueberry and the aromatics of this. And I think that the color feels a little bit different to me too.
It's
a little bit more blueberry.
it doesn't jump out of the glass as much either.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
aroma
it's
is not just hit you in the face honeyberry anymore.
Wait till you try that.
That's magic. Whoa. Wow.
I really like that combination.
Wow. Yeah, me too.
So
Well
it's
done.
young, there's quite a bit of alcoholic heat to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But as that matures and ages, that alcoholic component will subside and the fruitiness will come out.
Yeah.
But you don't get that sour bite anymore, right?
It's funny. Yeah.
You still taste the sourness, but you don't really get the sour bite anymore.
Bitterness.
Yeah.
And this isn't back sweetened at
Right,
all.
right.
Wow. Yeah, that's
So this is moving towards something that we could barrel age. We could put it through malolactic. We could handle it more like without back.
soften it up.
Is it?
I don't know how much
is it
malic acid
I was
is
going to
there.
say, is
I don't know.
malic
Yeah,
acid a
right.
component?
I don't know. Don't know yet. I will. I think I can look that up, actually, because I did put this through a test. I'll have to look at my notes.
Yeah,
But
that's
it has nice
yeah. Yeah, it sort of smooths out the whole experience. The straight berries just extreme, a lot of what it is to be a honeyberry and in a wine at that balance, a lot of acidity. This is just, it's just smoothed out.
Yeah.
This is this is a combination.
I really like
So
that.
Judy wants to know what vintage of Honeyberry wine did we include in our 2017 club, because she still has some of that in her cellar.
Oh, wow, that's great. If it was the 17 club release, it would have been the 2016 Honeyberry.
Okay.
So that was our second vintage of Honeyberry. It's probably a higher alcohol version. Earlier on, I was making a stronger wine out of it. It seemed to balance and hold that alcohol.
What do you think about its aging capabilities? How long should?
I think with all this
should Judy-
acidity and the flavor profile, I can't imagine this would fall apart in any less than 5 or 8 years. I mean, I think it's going to retain all of that brightness
We
and
don't.
uniqueness.
Since
I don't actually know.
our first
I-
batch was 15, so we've never
Yeah.
tried one older than 3 or 4 years old. I don't know.
Well,
if
we sell out of it so darn fast.
do we have some in ours?
I don't
Oh no.
I don't know. We'll have to check.
We
We'll have to check. That's a good idea.
we have to change
And,
that.
yeah,
We need to put some in our
I know.
cellar.
It's part of the organizational part of the world.
Yes.
That's difficult at times.
But how cool is that this is something that grows up the street in Sandwich?
That's
It's
what I
just
love.
completely
Yeah.
unique to
Yeah.
this area, the growers here.
Yeah.
Organic is, I'm sure it's organic.
Oh, yeah, Ben's fantastic. You know, one of the great things about this fruit, as far as I know, it doesn't use any sprays at all.
Yeah.
There are no known pests except for cedar waxwing birds.
Which are really pretty.
And a year ago's harvest, the 2018 harvest, 18, 19, the 19 harvest, we didn't end up with as much of this as we'd hoped, of the one that we opened up. Because he had planted a bunch of Aurora, had this big field, could only net part of it. So he invested in this sound maker to try to keep the birds away. And he said it worked great until it didn't.
So it didn't.
And he was literally there, and he watched one cedar waxwing come down to the bush, try a berry, and then go beep, 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 beep. And hundreds of cedar waxwing birds flew out of the trees down into his honeyberry bushes that were just ready to pick. All the bushes shook for about 30 seconds, and then all the birds took off. And he had 0 berries left. They ate every single one. Birds.
They must have been having a sugar rush.
Oh my God.
Poor birds.
Yeah, they flew to South Africa after that.
Yeah.
They were racing the United one. What happened?
Something fell down.
That was over there.
Yeah.
So this is honeyberries, primarily the Aurora variety of honeyberry, and wild blueberries fermented together with sugar for added alcohol.
Mhm.
What I'd like to pour for you now is my first venture into a honey-based honeyberry. So this will be a honeyberry mead.
And while you're doing that, say hello to Ryan, who loves this wine, one of her favorites, and Douglas. And who else do we have here? Let's see. Matt says, if you do, put Lynn down for 2. We laid it down with 10-year intent. Thing is, I'm not sure what he laid down with 10-year intent. But
Maybe a honeyberry, maybe a bottle of honeyberry.
okay.
Well, I would recommend that you try one at 5 years and see where it's gone at that point.
Mhm.
And if it's starting to lose some of the brightness that you really enjoy, then I wouldn't let the other bottle go for more than another year or so. You know,
Well, that's
it
a
may
good-
be.
That's a good practice. Anybody who's keeping a cellar, buy enough wine put enough wine of that vintage in your cellar so that when you're getting close to what you think might be the right year, you can try one a couple years before, a year before, when you think it might be peak. And then
Yeah.
if you're wrong,
Yeah.
have a third or fourth one that you could go into.
We've done
another
that out of your cellar many
Mhm.
times. You've had multiple bottles of the exact same wine, and we've
See
gone
how it
down and
changes.
see how it changes. Or one year, I think we found one of them where it was getting quite brown, and you went ahead
It
and
was
opened up the other
fast.
ones soon thereafter.
Yeah.
You know, to make sure it didn't go. So this is a mead made with honeyberries and local wildflower honey from Troy apiaries. Hall Apiaries, it's his last name, Troy Hall. He's over in the Connecticut River Valley.
Great guy.
And that's, he's our supplier for honey. We get both the Japanese knotweed honey and we get early season wildflower honey for our 3 honey wine and other meads that we make. So this is really interesting to me because it changes the aromatic character of the wine quite a bit.
Cool.
And what's nice about honey is there are some complex sugars in honey that don't ferment. So it leaves a higher residual sugar naturally in the wine, in the mead.
It's funny, other than the change in aromatics, I'm not, it's really very similar flavor-wise and bitter, that little bit of bitterness in the back end is still there. In other words, this is not back sweetened at all.
That's right.
Very dry,
That's right.
even with the residual.
But
honey that's
if
in
we
there.
go back to a little splash of the 20 honeyberry, I think you'll see there's quite a bit of difference in the lingering too. There's like a spiciness from the honey.
Yeah, there's
that stays on.
almost that floraliness that you get from honey, and I feel like the body's a little bit different too. I think there's something in there that's a little bit different to me, but I don't get anything that says, oh well, there's a bunch of honey in there. It doesn't taste like honey at all. Too. And so, how much honey was there?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, a shocker. Where did it go?
Yeah.
You fermented it all.
Fermented it out.
Yeah. Fermented it.
That's
That's
a
all
big
alcohol.
party in there. Right.
Matt has asked it before we finish tonight to pan around the room.
Well,
We can, Matt, but
Pretty
unfortunately,
dark.
it's got power.
the power is off up here. They're making a lot of changes electrically, and all of the temporary lighting that normally illuminates this is out. Bob has a big bright spotlight right here that's illuminating us,
It'll help.
but we can pan that around. It'll just give you a sense for it. All the drywall is done. It's been smoothed out and it's been painted. It's really coming along beautifully. They're going to start the coating of the beams and the wainscoting and all that real soon. These windows should go in soon behind us. They've got that beam up. They're just starting to frame them in. So that's going to come along. So what I'm going to do now in your glasses is create a very rough approximation of what I'd like to do with these three different types of wine to create the new, better honeyberry.
New and improved honeyberry.
New and improved honeyberry. It won't be a mead because the amount of honey that's in the total package will be less than 50% of the fermentables. So it's no longer technically a mead. So it will still be the honeyberry wine, but I'll need to put honey on the label because the TPB will require that.
So we have a couple new labels to get produced. Fun. My favorite thing to do.
And I do have a different port that's in a little barrel downstairs too. I think. New label. And that is big stuff actually. Okay, so.
All right, let the chemistry begin.
So we get about as much of that.
Real science here.
Yeah, Ken is a licensed scientist. He's got all the credentials.
About that much there. A smaller amount of the honey. This is, I think, about what we're going to want. Line mine up.
Hi, Joan. Thanks for joining us.
So what would one call this, Ken?
Honeyberry wine.
Just Honeyberry one? Version
2020 Honeyberry.
2020 Honeyberry?
So, you know, what a year that was, 2020. We were at the back end of that.
Adios 2020.
Adios 2020.
Hasta la vista 2020.
It's going to be quite a new year. Unfortunately, we won't be, dancing to the Love Shack. But we will have a socially distanced New Year's Eve. So this is the blend. In the past, always had a limited amount of honeyberries. We've crafted our line out of those honeyberries. We've been dialing it into something that we really like. The 2019 vintage that we still have a few bottles left of is what we started off with today. And then what we're doing is sampling the new 2020 vintages, which are still in the tanks downstairs. And in 2020, we had more fruit to work with. So we went ahead and explored a regular ferment of honeyberry, as well as a new one focused on these unique Aurora variety of honeyberries, adding some wild blueberries, and then finally making a mead out of it. So a honeyberry and honey ferment. Now we've combined all three of those together.
Yeah. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love it. It's the best of everything we've had.
Did you try it? I haven't tried it yet. See, I get the bright honeyberry aroma right out of the glass, which is what this wine should always be about.
Now, I'm guessing you're still going to want to probably small amount of actually, maybe like 0.5%.
Yep.
0.75%.
Yep. First, we'll work on getting the relative ratios between the three wines. And then in 21, what I'll do is ferment the entire batch that way. Right. Some sugar, some honey, some Aurora, some wild blueberries, some regular honeyberries into a big batch.
So this is a real work in progress. It may be a couple of years before you really dial in the right balances of this.
2035. 2035, look for the finished perfect honeyberry.
Perfect. Yeah. You don't have that long.
We don't know who's going to make that. But we know in 2035.
I'll make that.
Oh, you'll be
come on. Yeah. Absolutely. Where are you going to be? Sailing somewhere.
No, I'm going to be pushing daisies. Oh my God. We could think of
I can do a lot from a wheelchair. Don't you worry. See, so what I like about this blend like a lot of red wine blends, is that you get that added complexity, and it makes a more drinkable product. This is a little easier to think about what we might pair it with. I could see like a cheese noodle tomato sauce pasta with cheese would go really well. I think.
Yeah, a risotto.
A risotto. Yeah. Oh yeah, risotto. Wild mushroom risotto.
Oh
yeah.
Because this has sort of that, whatever this fruit tastes like. I mean, it tastes like honeyberry because that's what it is.
Yeah.
But it just has that thing to me that would love to go along with mushrooms in there.
I'd also, I don't know if this is going to be an opportunity or not, but 2 or 3 years in a barrel, neutral barrel.
Bring it all together.
I'd be interested to see that. Just
Yeah.
knowing what barrels have done for us with some of our other wines, it might bring that acidity.
I just
down,
have to be
just
careful
not-
with the barrels because all my barrels have had mallow go through them, and if I end up with a lot of malolactic bacteria and I don't strip it out with the filtering, and I use some potassium sorbate to make sure that we don't re-ferment in the bottle, then we could get a geranium aroma.
Oh, is that our favorite geranium smell?
Yeah.
That's where it comes from.
One of the
No, that's just it. That geranium that we got early on in our experimental days, there was no sorbate.
Mystery.
So I don't know where that came
Mystery.
from. I still have no idea where that came from. It could have been the growing, like those peaches we got one year.
Yeah.
That we don't talk about.
Yeah, the unnamed peach.
Right.
Folly wine.
Well, there's Chuck's peach.
Oh yeah, Chuck Souders.
Oh, is that what it's called? It was Chuck's Peach
Yeah,
Folly.
well, it's because they were
Hey.
Chuck Souders. Chuck
Oh,
Souders.
it's Chuck
grows our
Souders.
apples, Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, he had a glut of peaches, and he said, "Chuck, you've got to take all these
He said,
peaches up to Ken."
He said
And
Chuck.
I said,
Yeah.
I got here. I said, "Ken, Chuck said you've got to have all these peaches."
I said Chuck said that, Chuck?
Yeah, he said Chuck said that, and then Chuck's. I'm making up a new story.
I know, I like it.
It's like the.
It's being documented though, so it's probably
yeah, it's like
true.
the Dogo crab apple story. It evolves and changes. I think you guys got pretty close to the truth in the last Facebook Live. Yeah, as I remember, which a lot of those brain cells are damaged at this point. I'm afraid. Yeah, I think you're onto it. You've seen the
Here.
You're outside of the deck. People
Outside
are
of the
enjoying the deck today.
People are actually outside on the deck enjoying wine this evening, which is fantastic. It's 34 degrees out, and you can get.
So this is not back sweetened, it's quite drinkable.
It's very drinkable.
In that format.
Yeah.
That's what I like about that little added bit of blueberry takes away that harsh bite of the sourness, and so you don't need to use as much back sweetening, which helps bring out all the nuances of the aromas and the flavors, because the back sweetening can kind of subdue those, and take them away.
So what a great thing for those of you who joined us today. It just occurs to me that you got to see the creative process in contemplating something that is not probably done anywhere else on planet Earth. I doubt that anybody has had this conversation about this thing, about this fruit, and then how to grow it into something that everybody out there in the world will come here and enjoy.
Well,
That's true, but just like when we were talking with Craig in South Africa, all winemakers, that craft winemakers, do go through this iterative creative process of tasting, thinking about how I'm going to grow this, when I'm going to ferment that, how I'm going to balance this with that. So that I don't think is unique. Maybe this particular fruit in this
I'm
particular
talking
blend.
specifics.
Okay, you're talking
I'm not
about
talking creative process.
Okay, I thought you were talking creative process.
Yeah, no, but they got to see the creative process for this fruit turning into a wine at our winery that is completely unique. You can't go to South Africa and buy Honeyberry wine or Massachusetts. Or
that's what's so
somewhere else.
cool about this whole experience, is that what we've been doing since day one, mostly you, Ken, has been thinking about all of that fruit that does grow so well here in this part of the world, and how do we bring it together and find the right combination? Because there's no roadmap. Nobody else that we know of, that I know of, is doing anything like this, combining the types of fruits like honeyberries and the myriad of other fruits that are growing in this area, and finding what the right combination of those are to make really interesting wine. It's going to drink well with food, it's going to lay down well in your cellar, and it's been such an exciting mission. And probably 2035 is like dreaming if you think that we're going to have really explored all of the millions of ways.
I just didn't think I was going to live that much longer. That's
Right.
I mean, really, truly 2070, but I just,
No, but I think as you point out, we will never know what the outcome of this is, because somebody beyond us is going to continue this journey.
some of my best wines will be when I'm gone,
Right.
because they will have been created while I was here, but then I will have passed on,
Yeah.
and someone else will enjoy those ones.
And I think somebody else will
But-
probably take up the torch of this idea.
Oh, yeah,
People are taking more and more interest in what we're doing. And I think that we're going to see more people exploring these kinds of things.
It's been exciting.
I agree.
There were at least two major articles this year alone about fruit wine,
Wine enthusiasts,
taking more
And,
of a serious interest by the public.
there were three. Wine
Wine.
enthusiasts, Care, and Forbes did a story
And Forbes.
on wine made from things other than grapes.
Yeah.
So it's the first time that I've seen the major wine media taking
Turn
an
light
interest.
on fruit wine.
Yeah.
And no longer just the Boom Farm thing.
Right.
That there are a number of people spread out across this country doing some really great stuff with
Right.
writing fruits. And we're there as well. Which is great.
Yeah,
So,
I so much love that conversation about what Hermit Woods is and does, and what it brings to the town, the community, the state. It's creativity. I mean, I think if there's anything that I enjoy about life experience is being in a creative environment where, as the whole evolution of this business has been such a growth of creativity in a way that had no roadmap. And here we are in this building, in this new space, winery,
Yeah.
a basement full of cans. Oh my God. And a whole pallet of Dolgo. I'm so happy.
I
I
know.
think there's
bet
enough
you are.
Dolgo down there to get my sailboat to South Africa and back.
Maybe.
Create ballast for yourself.
Maybe, because after the first case, you're just doing circles in the bay. So I don't know that you'll ever get to South Africa. Then you will consume all the Dolgo.
Yeah, stuff stinks. It's good. It's great stuff. And never existed until this happened.
Yeah, it's really fun. So I think with the volumes that I have in the tanks down below, that probably not the spring, but maybe the fall release for the club will include a bottle of the 2020 Honeyberry, which will be a blend.
Get some labels going here.
Well, yeah, don't worry, we'll get that. We'll get that just, don't worry, we'll get that just in time.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Well, that was fun.
That was fun. It was
Thank you.
interesting.
Yeah. I haven't had Honeyberry in a while, so it's nice to dig back in on that a little bit.
So you just finished up this blend. You want a little splash of the 19 again? Just to
Let's
the
compare.
two?
Yeah.
Let's go back to that, to where we started, make this full circle.
And then we'll do a full circle with the camera and show everybody what the space is starting to look like.
This is a tough job.
Yeah, Ken asked if we wanted to drink some.
Yeah, exactly. You want a little more? And for the sake of science, I think that we're taking one for the team.
Here. So this is our
Back to the 2019.
2019 Honeyberry. This is what's in bottle. This is what's available
You
on
can buy it in
the
the tasting room right
at the
now.
tasting room or online.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Yes.
Stay safe.
Happy New Year. That's right.
Happy New Year.
We got 3 more
Right.
days.
That's right.
2020 is done. Cheers to that.
Cheers to
Yes.
that.
Adios.
Adios 2020. So I hope everybody out there has a safe and healthy new year and has a wonderful time with those who you can and will be spending it with. And we will look forward to seeing you in the new year.
Oh, this is such a great drinking wine.
It is really.
That year.
Yeah.
On the
It's-
wine, we've been drinking raw young wines.
It's so sweet.
And this has got just, this really just yummy, incredible flavors and aromas. I agree. I think this is the best vintage today.
Yeah, come and get it. Come and get it.
So Matt says thank you. Janice joined us. Brian joined
Thank you,
us.
Matt.
Gary Parker, nice to see you,
Hey,
Gary.
hey, Gary.
You came in late, but I'm glad you made it. And Maya's joined us.
Hi,
How about
Maya.
that? Cheers.
Excellent.
Everybody says cheers. Cheers to everybody.
Cheers.
Happy New Year. Please join us again next Monday.
Are you going to show everybody around?
And we're going to show you, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like you're giving the
Well, I'm
final
saying
say.
goodbye. Because
Okay.
you're not going to see us in a minute. You're going to see the rest of the room. So we're going to say goodbye. And we'll see you next Monday. And then we're going to spin the computer around and the light around so you can give you a little idea.
So we're saying
What our
goodbye, but
space
we're not
is.
saying goodbye.
Yeah, so, yeah,
That's what you're doing.
that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Thank
I'm
you.
just catching up.
Glad you
here.
cleared that.
So don't go away.
Don't go away yet. So let's do
Even
that.
though we say goodbye, don't go away. We're
Yeah,
going to show you the current status.
All right. So we'll turn
So while he's
this.
doing that, we can drink one. Yeah.
No, I need your help.
Oh, you need our help?
Somebody spin the light.
Oh, my goodness.
So just somebody just spin this light. All right, so here we go. We're going to
I
spin
should
this
stand
around.
back. I'll just keep walking.
I'll just keep you lined up with the light.
Yeah. Make sure we don't.
So you're trying to rotate. this.
There we go.
So behind me, everybody that's seeing now, is where the stage is going to be.
On the grand piano.
With the grand piano, will be coming in soon. Above my head, which you can't see, is a beautiful, large.
Yeah, we can
cupola.
fix it. Look at that.
Oh, look, you can almost see it up there.
Yeah.
Then it's blocked a little bit. They're finishing up things up there. That's going to be lit up. Beautiful space. Behind me, I don't know if you can see me way back here.
Yep.
But this is where the bar is going to be. So this will be the bar. There'll be some stools up here. There are going to be tables all down around the area, but this is where the bar is. Back over here is a raised area, kind of the same level as the stage on the other side.
We got a dumbwaiter over there too.
Oh yeah, back in the corner here. There's the dumb. Actually, it's a very smart waiter. It does exactly what we needed to do.
Yeah.
But that's going to bring food up from the deli downstairs and wine. And this is where other people will be able to sit and enjoy their food and their wine. There'll be a bar up here with some stools. And so you can sit here and have a drink. You can see down onto the street in Meredith, and you can see right across from the stage.
We will bring you up here when there's light and you can really see the whole thing. Right now, there's a lot of equipment in the way, so it's a little hard to see what's happening, but progress is being made. And again, if you're in the winery, come see us. We'll be glad to take you upstairs and give you a personal tour of the work in progress. We really enjoy doing that, and we're happy to share what's going on downstairs as well. So always say hello. Let us know you want to see what's going on, and we'll do our best to share. So again, thank you all. Happy New Year, and we'll see you next Monday. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone. Good night.